Welcome to Start Point on the South Devon coast. It's cold, it's wet, and it's dark. What on earth am I doing here? The reason I've come to Start Point is because of these conditions. Well, not the dark, because I'm not going to shoot anything in the pitch black, but that rain and that wind, those stormy conditions. So it's been quite stormy overnight. It's been a lot of rain, a lot of wind. But what has been forecast, and there's a lot of risk in coming all this way, because it might happen in or around sunrise. 5 a.m. alarm call always does a bit of mad things to your brain. But when that has... Some of you know who photographed in storms before. As that storm passes and the sky starts to clear, you can get some really interesting conditions. You get some nice broken cloud, heavy rain showers, maybe even a rainbow, if it's raining and the sun's coming up. It can add some real drama to the pictures. So it's for those reasons I set myself a 5 a.m. alarm call and drove all this way to Start Point Lighthouse. Now, conditions are looking, dare I say it, optimistic at the moment. There's some breaks in the cloud. It has stopped raining at last. I couldn't do any filming earlier on because of the showers. Still a little bit of rain about, and if I look out over to the sea, I can see some rain showers doing a downpour there. So all the elements are right. It just needs to all kind of come together at the right point in time. But I'm here now, and I'm excited to be capturing some seascape images here at Start Point on the South Devon coast. Now let me talk you through how I'm going to compose the image. Start Point is quite good, it's quite versatile. There are lots of different ways to shoot it. You can go right up close to the White House and put the lighthouse, not the White House. Oh, these 5 a.m. alarm calls. You can go up close and shoot the lighthouse and put it quite prominent in the frame, or you can come up to a kind of midpoint where I am, where it's still quite visible in the frame, but it kind of doesn't dominate the frame. Now in this little particular area here, I can kind of choose one of three positions. I can be sort of lower down the rocks, which puts the top of the lighthouse just above the horizon. But I've come to, there's a middle point, but that puts the lighthouse, top of the lighthouse, bang on the horizon. I really don't like that. But what I've done for this, at least for the first shot anyway, is come a little bit further back, a little higher up, and this has had the effect of putting the lighthouse further below the horizon. And this gives me a clear view of the sky, because I want to make the most of that sky. If there's not going to be any drama or deep black clouds or rain showers, I want them to be clearly visible. Now in terms of camera setup, I'm going to use my wide-angle lens because there's quite a bit of foreground interest in this particular composition that I'm going for. There's a nice leading line of rocks that curves around that leads out to the lighthouse. Almost definitely going to use some filters, definitely going to use a polarizer. If anything, I just want to darken down that sea, make the most of that turquoise colour. May or may not do a long exposure. Might have to use a grad, I'll have to see. I'll start off without. The dynamic range on the D850 is pretty spectacular. It's only, I guess, if I get quite a lot of break in the clouds, that I'll opt for a grab. So we'll just have to see how it goes. And now, it's just a matter of waiting. Not long before sunrise, it's starting to get light. I'm going to be able to turn off the light soon. And hopefully, we'll be able to take some dramatic images of Start Point. This morning could be the best decision to come out, or it could have been the worst decision I could have made. It's the conditions are pretty foul. But what I have spotted down the west coast there, the lighthouse wouldn't be in the frame, but there's some really interesting cloud. There's been a bit of a break, and it's just pinking up from the rising sun, and you can see the kind of big storm cloud. So I've got a nice bit of coastline there. So I'm going to grab that frame, see what that looks like, because that could be quite a nice image. So the scene behind me is quite dramatic. The sky is dark and heavy, and there's just a small break just on the horizon. That's given some really nice light as it comes through. The challenge I've got with this particular composition that I'm trying to shoot though is that these foreground rocks are very light compared to the rest of the scene. the further away cliffs west down the coast, they're still quite dark, and then obviously I've got the heavy cloud. So I've got these kind of bright foreground rocks, and I've got this heavy cloud. Now it's a nice scene, it's certainly nice visually to look at, but I'm not entirely sure it's going to make for a balanced picture. But you know, that might be something to be able to adjust in post. But in the meantime, I'm going to keep shooting this one. I'm hoping that I'm going to get some of that drama over by the lighthouse. I have a look around the coast, and I've got breaks of cloud and there's light coming through, but none of it's around the lighthouse, unfortunately. So we're just going to have to just keep an eye on the situation and keep shooting, and hopefully we'll get something with the lighthouse in. But in the meantime, I'm going to enjoy this dramatic view there down the Devon coast. I do hope you're enjoying this video so far, and if you are, please do consider hitting that like button, and of course leave me a comment. I do try and read and reply to everyone's comments. And if you are enjoying this video and perhaps you want to see more, do please also consider hitting that subscribe button. And if you do, or if you're already a subscriber, remember to click on that little bell icon. That way you'll receive a notification as soon as I post up a new video. But let's take some more photographs. Okay, so I've finished shooting down the west coast now. The dramatic light has kind of gone. It's actually kind of swinging around towards the lighthouse, but the problem is now we're past sunrise, so I've got a funny feeling that some of the nice morning light, I'm not going to get it, and I'm only going to be able to go for dark and dramatic skies. That's what I'm going to shoot now. I'm going to shoot the lighthouse. Now I'm going to do two different things. I'm going to take a normal exposure, just so I can keep some of the texture and the shape of the clouds, but I'm also going to try another long exposure as well, probably starting off with a 6-stop ND, might move on to a 10-stop and try and smooth everything out and see what that looks like. But yeah, it's got quite an interesting morning, and I think there's still another couple of shots to take. Do you know what? Even though I do love these stormy conditions, shooting with filters in the rain is a real pain in the butt, I have to say. I've had a few shots ruined because I've got water on my filter. I mean, even the slightest bit of rain is getting on my graduated filter at the moment, so I'm having to spend a lot of time cleaning up. Bit of a pain, but still, I'm having an excellent time. I've come out first thing in the morning, and I'm hopefully getting some really nice pictures. But one thing I did notice when I was looking through the image, just check it was all sharp and properly exposed, I noticed how dirty Start Point Lighthouse is. I think it needs a bit of a paint. It's not quite as white and as photogenic as it once used to be. Okay, so I've taken the neutral density filter off, and I'm going back to shorter exposures, probably about half a second now. And there's a bit more texture in the cloud, so it's a bit more interesting. I don't really want to smooth that out and lose some of that interest in the sky. So I'm going to take a few of these images and we'll see what they look like. Okay, I've got a funny feeling my time here at Start Point is going to come to a very sudden and quite wet ending. There's a big rain shower coming from the west up the coast, and I've got a funny feeling it's going to chuck it down. Besides, you know, I've had probably the best of the light. Sun's well and truly up now. I've had some really dramatic conditions this morning. It's been well worth that 5 AM alarm call to get down here, and it's always a risk. It's always a risk when you have these stormy conditions. You're not sure how things are going to happen, particularly when it's forecast to break. But you know, sometimes you just got to take the risk. And I think this morning, I think it paid off. And besides, even though I hadn't got any photographs, I really enjoyed my time here. I love getting up in the morning, and I love being here and watching the day start, particularly down at the coast, and sometimes you see the sun come up. It's just a really nice way to start the day. And besides, now I've got to go home. I got the treat of having some coffee and some breakfast, knowing that I've done a shoot. So yeah, I'm going to carry on taking a few pictures, but like I say, I think my time here is coming to an end. But I really hope you enjoyed this video, and I'll see you in the next one.